coming up from the Northeast Live Studios in Guwahati. Northeast Tonight with WASBIR Hussain.
Hello and welcome to a fresh edition of Northeast Tonight. I am WASBIR Hussain. When will peace return to Manipur and how? This is the million-dollar question that everyone in Manipur wants an answer to. Is there a section in the trouble-torn state, however small, who do not want peace? The right-thinking people want an answer to this as well. Manipur is under president's rule and therefore the spotlight is on Governor Ajay Kumar Bhalla. Governor Bhalla, who had an illustrious bureaucratic career culminating with his retiring less than a year ago as Union Home Secretary, is certainly aware that the only way to bridge the divide between the warring Kukis and Meiteis is by getting the two sides to sit down for a dialogue. Making the two sides sit down for talks is becoming a challenge because the trust deficit is sky high and radical elements who may be trying to capitalize on the situation do not want to budge from their stand and also do not want to approve of those talking peace. But peace is something that must return to Manipur for the sake of its youths and their future and for everyone else. Can the centre or Governor Ajay Kumar Bhalla and his team break the deadlock, bring the two sides to the negotiating table and start a dialogue process? The answer is a certain yes, because as the leader of the Supreme Court Judges Delegation, Justice B.R. Gavai, who completed a two-day tour of Manipur, said that a solution can certainly be approached within the ambit of the Constitution. To discuss the road to peace in Manipur, I have with me Lieutenant General retired Rana Pratap Kalita, former GOC-in-C of the Eastern Command and currently a leading commentator. Dr. Deben Bachashpatimayum, who is a peace activist from Manipur but joining me from Bhubaneswar tonight. Ms. Hoihnu Hauzel, journalist and writer, is joining me from New Delhi, and Mr. Pramod Boro, Chief of the Bodoland Territorial Council and a leading tribal voice in the Northeast, who has been repeatedly stressing on the need for peace in Manipur, is joining me from Kokrajhar. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Northeast Tonight. Let me first go to the political voice in this debate tonight, Mr. Pramod Boro. Pramod Boro, you have seen it all. Just about few years ago, Kokrajhar was one of South Asia's hottest trouble spots. Kokrajhar was an insurgency hotspot. But now everything is peaceful. You are holding match after match of Durand Cup football. You are holding festivals. People are roaming around at night in Kokrajhar and other areas of the Boro heartland. Now the point is, here in Manipur, it is not two militant groups fighting. It is two communities fighting. So technically speaking, from the surface, it should not have been as difficult as talking to two militant groups. What do you think, Mr. Pramod Boro?
Yes, thank you, WASBIR, for giving me this opportunity to participate in this talk. Since starting of this conflict, I have written so many articles which is coming from my heart. And at that time, I thought I should, write this and request my brothers and sisters of Manipur. Now, in this program, first of all, I pray to Almighty and God, for eternal peace of those people who lost their life in last conflict. So, this discussion is very important from many points of view. And I really appreciate you for taking this, program today. and we are trying to reach out so many people in last few years. I mean, the 1 year and the more than 1 years. We have, friends in both the communities, and we have some people who know each other from many years.
Right.
And we are trying to reach out them and try to understand them. When there is conflict or riot in any place, every system, fail. Whether it is government system or whether it is social system, institutions, everything fails. And that time we realized that what should we do or what should we not? What we did and what should we failed to do in past years. And that time we realized everything, that if we do this, it could be managed, it could be better than any others. But when there is conflict, we lost everything, and then we started thinking from the ground zero. Now in Manipur case, this community conflict, when there is community conflict, the educated people also fail to manage their people to understand what is good and bad. The religious institution also fail. There are so many religious institution and religious leader, whose every moment and every time they speak of peace, non-violence, and humanity, they also fail. And institution like government institutions also fail, whether it is police or intelligentsia and anything.
What is the road ahead? What is the road ahead?
My point is, in Manipur case, if I start from the Manipur case, the High Court declared one decision. Then there was a rally and conflict started.
Yeah.
What we learned from that? We learned from that? Let me clear one point. In our country, we have some pillars that they work independently: judiciary, executive, and we have parliament and all. But some sensitive issues, when the High Court and Supreme Court declared something, there should be understanding with the intelligentsia and the Home Department, who is the responsible for maintaining internal peace and integrity.
Right.
So in a few years back in South India also, for a Supreme Court decision.
We'll come to that, Mr. Pramod Boro. Mr. Pramod Boro, what is the way out very quickly? Is dialogue the only solution? Is dialogue of prime importance?
There is no any other way than dialogue. We have to reach out every institution, every community organizations, and first of all, both the community have to understand they are not going to get any kind of benefit out of this conflict.
Right.
And there is blaming the government only.
Will not help. I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you, Mr. Pramod Boro. I'll come back to you. I'll go to my guest from Manipur, but very quickly to General Kalita. General Kalita, you have been in the thick of things right at the start of this conflict, because you were then the serving army commander. You were the general officer commanding in chief of the Eastern Command. You had been to Manipur during the peak of that violence. Now, is it a military solution? Because we have seen 60,000 troops on the ground, 60,000 plus actually, in a small state like Manipur, yet the violence has not ended, yet the people from the valley has not been able to go to the hills, people from the hills have not been able to come to the valley, and the 10 elected legislators too have not been able to come to valley ever since the violence started. Now, your initial brief opening remarks.
No, you see, firstly, there is no military solution to such problems, particularly such type of ethnic clashes or clash between two communities. We have to seek go in for a political solution only. That's my first remark. But close to 2 years now, the continued cycle of violence which has been taking place in Manipur has been a cause of concern for the entire country. And there has been some periods of peace interspersed with cycles of violence again. Whenever we see some positive development taking place, we see some event which hijacks the positivity or the development which has been going on because of the efforts taken by the governments, both state as well as the central government.
Right.
This has been happening right from 3rd of May of 2023, and recently also after the imposition of the President's rule, the Honorable Governor had initiated a lot of positive measures, like based on his call for surrender of weapons. We saw a lot of people surrendering their weapons, including which was done also by the Arambai Tangals as well.
Yes.
As a group, they had surrendered
Yes.
large number of weapons.
Yes.
So that call was respected. And similarly, there was also effort to open the lines of communication to ensure freedom of movement along both the roads towards Churachandpur as well as towards Kangokpi and on towards Kohima. But these are the things, which leads to the restoration of the normalcy and confidence of the people who are disillusioned with the type of cycles of violence that are taking place. More than 250 people lives have been lost. Close to 2,000 people have been injured. And the worst of all, 60,000 people displaced within their own state. And they are still living in the relief camps. So that is something, which has raised the anger and the frustration among both the communities. But alongside that, we also see no movement towards positive engagement between the two communities that are engaged in the conflict. Though a lot of efforts have been made by the government and the others, mediators as well, to start some sort
Let's
of
have everybody
dialogue.
on the screen.
So start a dialogue between both the communities, because ultimately the solution has to be found out by sitting together by both the communities.
Right. Right, absolutely, sitting together. Now, let me go to. I've lost that line with Dr. Deben Bachashpatimayum. I will go to Miss Hoihnu Hauzel joining me from New Delhi. Hoihnu, we are talking about the road to peace. We spoke during the peak of the movement as well. Now, my question is, as General Kalita said, a lot of steps have been taken by the governor ever since President's rule was imposed. One of them is an appeal to surrender, and we have seen some surrenders taking place, including some weapons being deposited by the Arambai Tangal group. Now, my question is, recently we saw a delegation of the Supreme Court judges led by Justice Gavai. He visited camps of the internally displaced people both in Churachandpur as well as in Bishnupur. Now, the people are clamoring. The people told the judges delegation that they want to return home. So what do you make of it? The people are desperately wanting to go back to their respective homes, which they are not in a position to because of the situation. What do you think? How do you look at it?
Good evening, WASBIR. Yes, I know we have been in continuous discussion right from the heat of the problem.
Yes.
I must state something very important. Right from the time we fled that night, everybody fled with the hope that they would return. So this yearning is not something new. It was something right from the beginning. Everybody fled, hoping that they would go back the next day. But that didn't happen. So when 60,000 people are displaced, I want to put it here, there was no subsistence allowance for people who left their home and left to fend for themselves. For instance, of the 60,000 people who were displaced, if I were to talk about people from Churachandpur, there were over 100 students whose studies were interrupted because they were studying in Imphal. And I'm sure a lot of students in Imphal would have also suffered, but since I don't have the figure, I'm unable to bring forth that. Over 1,000 students who were studying in Imphal disrupted, and subsequently, can you imagine the generations that are going to be affected by this? So where is the subsistence allowance that should have come right when things happened? What about the people who fled here and there in neighboring states, in metropolitan cities? There was really no institutionalized method of even registering the number of people who have fled, and we don't even know how they're fending for themselves. Now, the figure that we have in relief camps and so on and so forth, but we must understand that there's so many unaccounted figures of people who are fending for themselves in relatives' homes or here and there. So I am upset about the lack of subsistence allowance that should have come. I'm upset about the immediate steps that could have been taken to address all of those, and also the instrument, which is called the President's Rule. It was always available. It was exercise just a few months ago, and that brought remarkable change. I wonder why that was an exercise in the beginning of the problem. A lot of problems could have been solved.
We'll continue this discussion. Let me go to Dr. Deben Bachashpatimayum. Dr. Deben, as a peace activist, I'm sure you are an anguished man. As a peace activist, I'm sure you are absolutely suffering from anguish at nobody being able to, bring the two sides for discussions. As Mr. Pramod Boro, the chief of the Bodoland Territorial Council in Assam and a very leading tribal voice from the Northeast, he said that everybody's as of now, if nobody has succeeded in pushing the peace process forward. How do you look at it?
Yeah, my greetings to all of you, Lieutenant Colonel Kalita and Pramod Boro, Hoihnu, and WASBIR for putting this team together here. Yes, I would agree with what Pramod has said. It's a total failure. And people's effort to talk to one another has not succeeded so far. But the question is, what has the government do to ensure that people's initiatives succeeds? This is one question. Second is, I would like to begin with what Hoihnu has said. I'm very happy that this Supreme Court team has finally come down to put their focus on the relief camp. This is very critical. And this should be the start point. How people have suffered nearly over 2 years. And many have died thinking about returning home, not fulfilled. And children were suffering there. And the focus should be now on women and children.
Yeah.
And I'm quite sure the Supreme Court judges are doing that. And this is the right perspective to start thinking and acting for peace. The problem in Manipur is a national issue. It's a national problem. And many narratives that I've heard about from very responsible citizens, retired bureaucrats and army officers, including present government, some of the important cabinet ministers, union ministers have said this is ethnic conflict. Now, what does it mean when you say ethnic conflict? Are you saying you have nothing to do with it? That people are designed or people are genetically or designed to kill one another? That's not so. These people in Manipur is known as one of the most diverse states in India. It's a mini India, and people have learned how to live together. And the question is now, have people been allowed to or supported to live together, talk to one another? I asked this question
that is a very important. That is an extremely important question, Dr. Deben. Are people being allowed to express their views of the need for peace or the need to live together? So that is the reason why in my opening remarks I asked a question whether there is a small section of people, or small or big, we don't know, whether there is a section of people in Manipur, however small, who do not want peace. So that is a question also we need an answer. We don't know. We need an answer. We will continue this conversation. I'm coming to you, Mr. Pramod Boro, but after a very, very short commercial break. Okay, now Mr. Pramod Boro, I was coming back to the discussion quickly. Mr. Pramod Boro, the Supreme Court judges team led by Justice Gavai, he has also said that constitutional solution can be found, and Justice Kotiswar Singh of the Supreme Court, who was part of the delegation, he also said the same thing, that the Constitution provides enough scope for solutions like this. Now, in brief, Mr. Pramod Boro, the Bodoland problem was solved under the ambit of the Constitution. first it was the Bodoland Autonomous Council was given, then you got a Bodoland Territorial Council. So without going into the Bodoland thing, my simple question to you, limited question to you is that, do you think that a solution to the Manipur crisis can be found within the ambit of the constitution, because both sides have their aspirations and demands?
Yes, definitely there is provision, and there is lots of scopes in the constitutions where we can solve this problem. But in Manipur case, the constitutional demand and political demand, it is in one side, and other side there is opposition. So what I think, there is a need of a series of discussion which is being done by the IV and Home Ministry for last couple of years, and that was not the end. So it required more time. In our case also, since 2005, there was series of discussion with our underground group and Government of India, Government of Assam, and we have given enough time to understand each other, because it is not a matter of a community, it is a matter of a state and a nation. And as the gentleman has said, there is a diverse community and diverse culture, and aspiration of people cannot be measured. So one side is the nation, national integrity and constitutional provisions which for equal right and protection of the all communities. You cannot be biased when taking a decision. In that case, the regional government or state government have to be more sincere on that. In Assam, what we have seen, our regional government or the state government leadership, they are very sincerely dealing with the issues of the community aspirations. Lots of community has been demanding lots of rights, what they are wish, what they are want, what they think that it is very important for them.
Right.
But still the Government of India and Government of Assam engaging with the groups for serious discussion whether it can be granted or not.
Groups means ethnic groups. Ethnic groups.
Yes, all the ethnic groups,
Yes.
all the communities, and the state leadership has to be very careful
Right.
because till now, after independence, 78 years of independence, there are lots of communities who still feeling that they have not enjoyed the right whatever given by the constitution, what
Right.
are entitled, and
No.
that there is no any mechanism to relook or verify or just to see what communities' aspirations are there and what is what is just or not.
No, these are very important points which Pramod Boro has made. Quickly before coming to you, Hoihnu, General Kalita, I mean, do you think it is the failure of the state? Now, I'm not talking about the immediate case. I'm not talking about and as Pramod Boro has said that aspirations cannot be measured. I'm sure Dr. Deben and Hoihnu will agree with me that aspirations, you cannot put a lid. You cannot put a lid to people's aspirations. Every community wants to prosper. Every community wants more powers in the northeastern region. We have already the 6 scheduled provisions and so on. Now, my question to you, General Kalita, is this. Now, in Assam, we have seen the government signing 3 accords with the Bodo groups. Only then we have seen total peace coming to the region. Now, that means the government has not given up its initiative to talk to the Bodos. Similarly, there was accord signed with the Karbis. There were accords signed with some of the Dimasa groups and so on and so forth. Even those people who have not agitated also have got autonomous councils. Now, in Manipur case, we have seen there has been Kuki-Naga clashes in the past. We have seen now the most blistering ethnic clash between the Metes and the Kuki-Jo community. Now, do you think the government over the years, I am not here to put a blame game on X chief minister or Y chief minister, but over the years, do you think all the communities in Manipur, they have not been treated equally? Is that one of the grievances of the people, including the Metes? Suddenly you saw the Metes demanding more powers, more benefits for them.
One of the comment which Mr. Deben had made, that Manipur is a very, very complex state. I would agree with that. Manipur is extremely complex because of the competing aspirations of the 3 communities that stay in Manipur, that is Kukis, Nagas and Meiteis. So, because of the competing nature of the aspirations, any sort of room to one community is likely to impinge on the aspirations of the other community. So, striking a balance between all the three aspirations of all the three communities and at the same time maintaining peace has been a great challenge for the Manipur state since its existence. So, that is one of the main issue. And we have issues related to land, we have issues related to forest rights and ST status, then NRC issue. So, all these issues complicate the situation in Manipur further. It's not that governments in the past have not been taking measures. I think everybody has been trying to resolve the problem to ensure peaceful coexistence of the three communities in Manipur so that they can prosper. However, there has been times when some government have been seen to be giving more room to one particular community, and that in any case comes at a cost of the other community. So that is what has been fueling the anger among the three communities, which has led to this conflict.
Right. Hoihnu, before I go for a break, I'll come to Dr. Deben immediately after this. Now, Hoihnu, I mean, now when we talk about finding a road ahead, do you think that aspirations means demands? Now, we all know there is no point in talking in riddles. The cookie groups are demanding a separate administration. They're saying that the trust deficit is very high and therefore we cannot live to coexist with the Métis. Now, my question to you is simple. Do you think peace and demands, peace and aspirations should go parallelly? These are two different things, because without peace there can be no dialogue, and without dialogue there can be no solution.
Very quickly, I have few points. One, I'm very happy that people like Pramod sir are here and confirming that things can happen within the ambit of the Constitution. We had spoken about the disappointment in our inability to bring people together. I think people are willing to talk, but what's really missing and what we are missing is when we bring them on the table, we are not defining the modalities of peace. We're not meeting the first basic solution. For peace, there has to be justice, and also we're not defining what are the parameters of peace. So how can you bring them together? So there is a lot of mistrust. Adding to that, you're simply bringing them on the table without spelling out in definite terms, this is what is going to happen. So therefore it didn't work. And to say that it didn't work, it's because we did not provide even the basic parameters. Now I have a small analogy. As a parent, our parenting style need to evolve with many changes and things that are changing. So when we discuss governance on a national scale, the parent, which is the nation, must recognize that just like parenting, the way it governs must evolve because there are lots of changes. The dynamics of society have changed, including people have become politically aware. This requires an openness. This requires openness and increasingly not deviating from respecting that societies have grown, and there has to be an open and a way where constitutional amendment and reforms can happen in order to meet the aspirations of the people.
Right.
Now the Boro problem and Manipur problem in my mind are tied together on ethnic and linguistic and identity reasons. If the same can happen to a state where part of the state that was ailing, we have seen it, but it can come to a very conclusive, peaceful terms within the ambit of the Constitution. I am sure what the people are demanding, like we are making out that the separate administration is not a dirty term. The people have never been secessionist movements. There has never been secessionist movement in the history of the cookies. So what they are wanting is only an appeal so that help us to self-govern ourselves for the preservation of a culture and many other things that are not really seen with the light that it should be seen. So I think that merits a kind of, a look at a retrospective and introspection into that.
I get
I'm
your
not
point.
even saying a demand. It's a very organic thing that should have happened.
Right, but it
In
has
fact,
not
for both
happened.
the parties.
Let us hope it happens. I'm coming to you, Dr. Deben, but after this very, very short commercial break once again. Welcome back. Going back to Dr. Deben Bachashpatimayum. Dr. Deben, now, we have seen the civil society is also divided on ethnic lines. Let's be frank about it. The civil society, their loyalties are understood. Now the government is tightrope. Government has to have a tightrope walk. Government cannot take sides. Now that there is president's rule, there is more expectation that the government will not take sides. Now, who is a credible mediator? Who can be the credible agency that can bring the two sides together? Do you think that since the Supreme Court has decided already to send a delegation of their judges to tour both sides in Manipur, which they have done, and that has, brought, and some of the judges said that, their visit has brought some kind of a healing touch. The IDPs, the refugees, if I'm not refugees, that will be a wrong word, the IDPs who are in the relief camps, they have also told their respective problems on both sides. They wanted to go home and so on and so forth. They related their problems to the judges. Now, do you think, my question, straight question, do you think that under the banner, under the aegis of the Supreme Court, an initiative can be made to bring the two sides to talks in a neutral location, whether it is Guwahati, whether it is Calcutta, whether it is Delhi, it's not important. But do you think that can be done? Dr. Deben.
Yes. You see, in a given conflict, at any level, there is bound to be very powerful and strong demands and position taken by all parties involved in it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean once you get the process of talking to one another or finding a solution through dialogue. Yet at the same time, I'd like to just park this idea that many people have, different understanding about the word dialogue and how actually the procedures about dialogue. I park it on one side, but then this is something that, in the media also we need to clarify what actually we mean by dialogue and how does it work about if we have to really, put this the idea into use. How does it have resolving conflict? So, you see, I'd like to, the first step I see in the way forward to peace process. And so far I've seen is this Supreme Court team coming and visiting the aggrieved, deeply aggrieved, agonized people in the relief camps on both sides.
Yes.
And the Hoihnu was referring to the yearning of these people. What is that peace without addressing this yearning, I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you may have years of wars, but at the end of the day, it is the people who would live as neighbors. You may like to have all kinds of constitutional protection, which everybody needs. It is not that only one party needs and others don't need. Okay, so constitutional protection is for all, for every citizen, for all community in India, throughout India. That constitution, the government has to ensure that everybody gets feel protected. All right. So another approach to another step that needs to be taken is I have observed quite a number of very well-meaning, seriously concerned citizens of India often talking about Manipur with a lot of concerns on many television channels.
Yes.
How about organizing them? How about organizing these retired bureaucrats, retired army who understand the problem from human perspective, not from security perspective, okay?
Yes.
So can we organize such people together, form a concerned citizens team to start shuttling across the so-called divide of the people? You have said rightly the civil society even are divided. Yes, I agree. But is the government providing or organizing such team to shuttle between the divides, talk to one another, soften their stand, try to understand them from human perspective, and try and see and explore how they can come at certain point of time face to face to open out.
Basically,
right?
Dr. Deben, what you are saying, I'm asking this question to General Kalita, and before that I'll ask this same question to Mr. Pramod Boro. But Dr. Deben, basically what you were saying is that these citizens group, they will move subtle between both sides, try to understand the problem, and basically prepare the ground for a possible face-to-face meeting between the two. That's what you were saying.
Correct.
Now, Mr. Pramod
What I
Boro.
would call dialogue, facilitated dialogue.
Yeah, Mr.
Because the two parties will not have confidence and trust to one another. They kill one another.
Absolutely.
So therefore, you need a well-meaning human group, humanist group,
Right.
who are neutral, who are not biased, who understand the constitution, who understand the the fundamental duties.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now let me ask. Let me throw this, Dr. Deben. Let me throw this to Mr. Pramod Boro. Mr. Pramod Boro, you have heard Dr. Deben Bachashpatimayum, who is a well-known peace voice, peace activist from Manipur. Now he is saying that a group of well-meaning citizens from the country who knows the law, who knows the constitution, who knows, who has enough knowledge of how the government functions and can move between both the sides and prepare the ground for a possible future dialogue between the two communities. Is it a good idea?
Yes, it is good idea, and it's already in the place. As I know from last, since the situation started, the conflict started, Government of India, the most responsible organizations, institutions are engaged for, reconciliation and
but
again,
that did not take off. That did not take off.
Yes, that's what I am trying to, explain is like now the trust building and well-organized discussion and resolve the problems is need between two communities. Now, as I know, there are lots of educated people in Meitei and also in the Kukis. There are so many credible civil society organizations in both the communities and also the underground groups. My point is, what underground groups want? They are fighting. They are doing their struggle for their own community. Now, if after this conflict or for this conflict, if their community is going to suffer, their mother and their children are going to suffer, what is the meaning of taking arms for protection of their own community? What is the meaning of taking arms for, prosperity of their own community? We have to think of our own community, because the government of India is there to, start the dialogue in between. The trust building is request among the organizations of the Meiteis, among the organization of Kukis, what actually they want. The resolution will come from the government of India, and government of India, as I know, they are always ready for dialogue, but it takes time because there is a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
Some community between the communities. So we have to give enough time to government of India also, because there are lots of issues in entire country. Not my issue is not only issue in the country. So we have to give time to the government also.
Absolutely.
And government very credible and very strong organization are engaged for peace building in the Manipur, as I know. And it is the concern of Honorable Prime Minister and Honorable Home Minister also. So now we have to understand, Meitei organizations, Meitei intellectuals, Meitei, the educated peoples, religious institution and Kukis also. Right. And they have to find out among themselves.
Yes,
what are the main points
they have to find out
resolve.
amongst themselves. Now, I'm coming to you, General Kalita. You see, what Dr. Deben was basically saying about people not belonging to any organization. What Mr. Pramod Boro is saying, that credible organizations should be involved. But the big question is, when there is a conflict, the organizations representing a particular community, obviously, it's very difficult for them to stay neutral in this kind of a situation. It's human nature. And there are lots of pulls and pressures also. They also cannot really act, let's be frank, they cannot really act absolutely neutral. It's very difficult for to act neutral. Now, when top people in authority cannot act neutral, it is too much to expect a civil society organization to work neutral. Now, in this backdrop, what Dr. Deben is suggesting, that people who are who do not owe allegiance to any particular organization, do you think that is a good idea, or do you think now that the Supreme Court has already taken the initiative to dispatch a group of senior judges, do you think they can go one step further and start some kind of a dialogue process between by inviting communities and civil societies belonging to both the sides?
See, we all agree that there is complete distrust between both the communities.
Yes.
So how you get these two communities who don't trust each other to sit together and to discuss solution to the existing problem. So that's the major issue because of, and I think a lot of, like I agree with Dr. Deben what he had suggested. We need to do a lot of groundwork before both the communities come and meet at one place to try and find out some solutions to the existing problem, to try and establish a roadmap. Now, for doing that, my recommendation would be to identify people. There are a lot of people, and I go back to my opening remarks, like I had mentioned that Manipur is the most complex state of the Northeast. So, anybody trying to mediate between the two communities should be the one who have a basic understanding or good understanding of the complexities of the state of Manipur, about the three communities, how they came there. They should have detailed knowledge of that. One is that they should have a basic understanding of the complexities of Manipur. Second thing I would say is they should also enjoy the trust of both the communities, so that there are a lot of people who are either in Northeast or in the entire country, who may not be from the government, who may be retired bureaucrats, retired army officer, or anybody from the media, from anybody who enjoys the trust of both the communities. The committee can be formed of such experts, and they can shuttle between both the communities, prepare the groundwork, so that both the communities they can come together and sit down.
I hope Governor Valla takes an initiative like this to set up a group of people who may not represent any particular organization as such, but as the general said, who enjoys the trust of both sides, to go and prepare a prepare the ground. Whether talks take place or not is a different story. Hoihnu, you wanted to say something? Yes, Hoihnu. Yeah.
We have seen that 3 commissions were formed, and I would not say that they didn't work out, but even now when we said let's bring people together, what in my mind is often absent is who are the people that we're going to bring together. So therefore, we need to be very focused about the different layers of people that we need to bring in together. And we must remember that we cannot let people who are very far away from the epicenter wax eloquenting the problems. That's where the disconnect happens. So therefore, it's important to form groups at different levels. For instance, the intellectual level of border communities, the religious group, maybe the church group, or maybe other spiritual group. The mothers group, the women are very important in the whole cycle of this. Therefore, we need to engage them. We need to engage the youth. We need to engage the students group. We need to, so there has to be different layers of engaging them, and we cannot let decisions be taken by people who are outside. The whole disconnect is when you give away that to people who are not a part of it.
But
surely they can lead, and they can facilitate.
No, I take your point. I take your point. But Dr. Deben and Hoihnu, now suppose we form, just for the point of discussion only, suppose we form a group of people from Manipur itself, who do not belong to any organization, like it can be anyone. Do you think they will have the liberty will they be accepted? Will the organizations prevent them from undertaking an exercise like that? Dr. Deben, what do you think?
See, there are 2 types of people on both sides. One, pursuing peace through violence.
Carry on. Okay, we lost that line. I'm going to go for a short break and come back after this very short commercial. Okay, before I lost the line with you, Dr. Deben, you were saying there are 2 types of people. Carry on, please.
So, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so you see, if, as I said, the central government has to empower a neutral team who understand India very well, constitutionally, politically, economically, socially, and culturally, and historically also. You need this team. And this team, the local people on both sides, who I know, I'm connected with many people across different ethnic communities in Manipur, they all will provide support to them, local support to them. So you cannot expect them anything more than that, because they are also threatened in many ways.
Yeah.
But let me also tell this, that over the last, Manipur also yearns for a long-term solution, not a shortcut, quick solution. Never. It is not going to work. So therefore, in order to find a long-term solution, as Hoihnu has said, you need an inclusive processes, and this will take a long time. And government has to provide fund for these processes. All right. So what is happening in Manipur is a political problem of India, not Manipur problem.
Right. No.
If I ask you, who rules Manipur today? It is government of India, right? So do not consider that Manipur government is an independent agency itself, no autonomous. It is functioning on its own independently. Nothing like that. Everything is under the central government. So
no, but you had until 1 month ago, until 1 month ago, there was an elected government in Manipur that had totally failed to deal with the situation. Until 1 month ago, or maybe 1.5 months ago, there was an elected government that had totally failed to deal with the situation.
But it is not one party ruling it. It is the minority who get elected. It is a rule by minority, although we call ourselves democracy. It is never the majority who is ruling the state. And it is a political party who have their own ideology, which is quite different from politics in the past.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Pramod Boro, Mr. Pramod Boro, you see, what I want to ask you is that, do you think the committee, a group of people needs to be gathered, and Dr. Deben said they have to be empowered by the government. If they have to be empowered by the government, that it becomes a committee formed by the government. Are you in favor of that in this situation, or do you think a group of people should emerge and respective civil society organizations or both the communities should say, okay, we are supporting you, you go and talk, whatever is the result, we don't bother, because talk does not mean that it will end in a positive result. But what is the harm in allowing people to talk? But when some people oppose the move to talk, that is where the problem lies.
Yes, this is one better solution for understanding both sides, the people, their pain, their hatred, their anger, whatever is. This is one process that can be followed. In our case, when there was lots of, many times there was riot, ethnic conflicts, we also faced that kind of situation. But the shortcut is the government. The honorable governor is there, who is very positive and very experienced people. He was leading the country for a long time as a home secretary. Now he is the honorable governor of the state. And other is the government institution, government organizations are there, because we cannot lose trust on the government organizations and agencies. So intelligentsia and all, they are in between. So what I said, now understanding is required among the organizations of one community. First, the organizations of the Meitei community, what they want. And second is the understanding among the organization of the Kuki communities. So if there is, difference of opinion within the community, if anybody take initiative, they will not give any result. First, we have to understand what we want, what Meitei in the present time of Manipur want, what Kukis of the present time in the Manipur want. And government of India is there. We can, we can also help them in any extent to bring back peace and normalcy. There are lots of people, as already discussed, there are lots of people in Manipur also who enjoy the trust of the people, who are the guardian, senior people who are well educated. There is institution also, the Manipur University. There is, you can engage the Manipur University also. So many institutions and organizations are there for this humanitarian act, to support both the communities. Now they have to decide first, because they have to live together for coming centuries.
Absolutely.
So this kind of conflict will not help them to grow and prosper in coming days. And now at this moment, what we sometimes feel very bad, before this conflict, pre-conflict time, Manipur was growing like anything in culture, education, sports, in every aspect,
Yes,
in every field.
absolutely.
They were developing in the country. Now, after this conflict, now they are going to,
Okay.
lost everything for another 2 generations. So
Right.
this is very painful, story. So we are
Right.
facing now in Bodoland, though we
Yeah.
have started reconciliation, both central and state government, and also all the organizations working.
I'm absolutely, that reconciliation is a very big example that a lot of people have to learn from the rehabilitation process. More than 5,000 Boro militants have come over ground, and they are now in the process of rehabilitation. That reconciliation, lot to learn from the Bodoland story. Now, General, suppose. Yes, nobody can deny that the present governor of Manipur is a highly experienced person. He has seen it all in his, and he ended his tenure, illustrious career as the Union Home Secretary. Now, my question to you is: suppose the governor gives a call, saying that, okay, I'm prepared to talk to both the groups outside Manipur, because as things stand now, then that doesn't have to yield any immediate result. Nobody can expect that one round of talk will solve the problem in Manipur. But some beginning has to be made somewhere. So would you expect the governor to give us a call, inviting both sides, selected representatives from groups and communities, individuals, to come and talk in a neutral place, outside Manipur? Do you think both the groups will come? What is your gut feeling?
I think the Honorable Governor has already started engaging with different segments of the society, which includes both the communities and the others as well, other stakeholders as well, for initiating direct talks between both the communities. Like I had mentioned earlier, you have to do a lot of groundwork which has to be prepared, and both the communities then have to come for talks without any preconditions. Because the moment you come to the talks with preconditions, that the talks are doomed to fail. That's what my personal opinion is. So I'm sure the Honorable Governor is cognizant of the problem, and he's already engaged with a lot of people. But just one sentence I would like to say is, there are a lot of issues which are more contentious, like separate administration by the cookies, ST status, or the NRC. The more contentious issues can be frozen for some time and address such low-hanging fruits like peace and reconciliation, like the fair and transparent compensation to the displaced people. Those issues can be
that's a very good suggestion by the General. The contentious issues like separate administration, scheduled tribe status, NRC, and so on can be frozen for the time being. Low-hanging fruits should be addressed first, like as Hoihnu said, compensation for the displaced people, rehabilitation of the displaced people, the new houses to be built, education for the displaced students, and so on needs to be addressed first. 20 seconds to you, Hoihnu, your final comments, and then same time to Dr. Deben.
Yeah. So you suggested the contentious issues to be kept away, but those are the very ailing issues that hurts them. So won't there be a way to address them without beating around the bush?
No, but without peace, how can you address them? Without the two sides willing to talk, how can you address them? That is the big question.
Yeah. These are the issues that's ailing both the communities. So I think there must be a process of hearing them out, and alongside rehabilitation, subsistence allowance, they should go on nonetheless on a parallel ground.
Okay.
Otherwise, we are not looking at long-term
Dr. Deben,
solution.
Dr. Deben, I'm running out of time. Sorry,
Yeah,
Dr. Deben, yes.
Let us put our perspective very clear in looking at Manipur's problem. Is we have seen that Manipur's state government is not neutral, so also the central government not neutral. The central government or government of India is part of the problem, so therefore it has to declare that now we want to become part of the solution, and along with that, it has to commit budgets to ensure that.
Yeah, but Dr. Deben, how can you put the entire blame on the government, whether it is the state or the central? What about the society?
Manipur state is a grant in aid state. For long many years, it still continues to. 90% of the grant, with 90% of central funding, the state government is running. So how is state government so independent from central government? Who decides this budget and who sanctions this? So you have to understand the political economy of this
again,
state.
that
So
we have to
therefore,
wrap up. That is a very, very debatable point. That is a very, very debatable point. I have completely run out of time. I have complete
central government not neutral.
I get your point.
Problem. So therefore,
we will continue this debate. We will continue this debate. This is a problem which the government alone cannot solve. This is a problem where the society and the organizations have to collaborate with the government and find a solution. This is not the last that we have heard on the imbroglio in Manipur, and hope peace returns to Manipur sooner than later. Thank you very much, all the panelists, for joining the discussion, and the viewers for watching the show. Good night and goodbye.